Now we would be looking at the situation in Europe before the revolution started. This is in the middle of the 18th century. Before that time, there were no nation states existing in Europe like the way we have today. Germany, Austria, Norway, Italy, Spain, all these countries did not exist back then. Europe was divided into kingdoms and territories. The rulers of these kingdoms had their own territories, and diverse people lived under these monarchies. They did not share a collective identity. They knew how to respect their king, and that was it. They had no feeling of nationalism in them. For an example, take the Habsburg Empire that ruled over Austria, Hungary, and had French, German, and Italian speaking people all mixed up. There was no nation. The only binding factor was people and their respect for the common king. Now we would be looking at the causes and process of the emergence of nation states. The first one is aristocracy. Aristocracy is similar to passing down of power from generation to generation in the dominant class. As you all must be knowing, it's a political system, and these powerful people owned large amount of land. The members of this class, this royal family, were united by a common way of life that included horse riding, having high society homes. They spoke French for the purpose of diplomacy and in high society. Their families were often connected by the ties of marriage. This powerful aristocracy was actually a very small group. The majority of the population were the peasants. The second reason was the emergence of middle class. In Western and parts of Central Europe, industrial production and trade grew. This led to growth of towns and factories, and new commercial classes emerged. The existence of this new class was based on production for the market. The new social groups came into existence. A working class population and a middle class, which was composed of industrialists, businessmen, and professionals like teachers, they all made the new social group. Before, such group was not existing. It was this class which shaped the ideas of national unity. The third reason was the idea of liberal nationalism. The term liberalism derives from the Latin root word liber, meaning free. For the new middle classes, freedom for the individual and equality for all were the basis of the idea of liberalism. Liberalism also meant an end of monarchy and autocracy. Further, it meant the need of constitution, parliament, democracy. Suffrage means the right to vote. The universal suffrage was not yet there. It was limited. During the early period of revolution, only property owning men had the right to vote. For a brief period, all adult male got the voting right, but it was later stopped. When Napoleon came to power, the earlier system of limited voting right was reverted. During the rule of Napoleon, women were given the status of minor. They have to have the authority of father and husband. The struggle for the voting rights of women and other non-propertied men continued for a long time, till the 19th and the early 20th century. Fourth reason is liberalization in economic sphere. You know that Napoleon made a Napoleonic Code, which was very important in economic liberalization. The emergence of middle class also favored economic liberalization. Let us take an example of German-speaking regions during that time. There were 39 states in this region, which were divided into many, many territories. Each territory had its own measurement and own currency. If a merchant traveled from one place to the other, there were more than 11 custom barriers, and at each barrier about 5% of custom duty to be paid. Because the currency and weights and measurement were different and confusing for the merchants. These conditions were not at all business friendly. The new commercial class was demanding a unified economic territory so that movement of goods, people and capital could be without any barriers. In 1834, custom union started forming. Initiative was taken at Prussia and then joined by other German states. The tax barriers were abolished and the number of currencies were reduced from 30 to 2. Development of railway network further enhanced mobility. This created some sort of economic nationalism, which helped in strengthening the national sentiment, which was growing at that time.